trying to still be a light to my kids and like be there for my kids, but my life was so, you know, crazy with transitions and stuff. I just lost myself. And unfortunately, it took death. You know, is it always that? Like, I feel like it's the Gua Sha too, right? You have to go through it. It took death. And my dad's voice extremely loud. And it said, "Don't be afraid." And I said, I'm jumping. And I haven't stopped. And it's just been up and up and up and up and up. And I feel like I've been glowing. I've been glowing different.
So I was thinking about episode 2, who I want to interview next, and the first person that popped into my head was Zane.
Check, 1, 2.
A phenomenal MC, powerful artist, healer, just an overall beautiful soul. So I said, I'm gonna hit her up. And to my pleasant surprise, she said yes. She said yes.
No matter what you're doing or what you're putting hands on, I think that's the MC in us, right? It's that I'm the illest, I'm the dopest, I'm the flyest MC. Like, you know what I mean? We're gonna do that. You should be doing that in everything you goddamn touch.
I am the greatest. I'm coming for you, Zane. I'm coming for you, Zane. I'm coming for you, Zane.
My name is Zane. Zane Marie Reynosa.
Now, is that your hip-hop name, or were you
That's
born
my real name. That's my name.
Do you know the story behind your name?
Yes. My mother wanted to name all of her children. It had something to do with a book that she was reading at the time. And I guess she was into some Western books in the 70s, and she named me after the author Zane Grey.
Wow.
And it is a male-dominated name, but I couldn't ask for a better one.
And you said it, I didn't say it. I don't want to bring up your age, but do you mind saying how old you are?
I'm 49. I'm pushing 50.
I don't believe it.
I'm about to be 50.
I don't believe it. But you look wonderful.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And I know it's not just physical. I'm sure it has a lot to do with you actually being in your purpose, blessing people daily, making art, enjoying your family. But tell me about that. How do you stay fly? How do you stay youthful? How do you still have it in you to do it?
I have no idea where this energy is coming from, but I am so thankful for it. Because, you know, as women too, when our hormones change and things happen, we get in this, you know, or that depressive funk, you know, our whole energy is drained down. So I do know what it's like to be stuck in the bed or just be sluggish and all those things, and not realizing what I needed, you know what I mean, as far as going outside, vitamin D, walking, fresh air, you know, grounding things and all that stereotypical stuff. But it works. It works. It very much. Taking a bath is a huge one for me. I couldn't even imagine like me doing like super self-care, you know. I took baths, I'm saying.
No, I got
like, you know, really 30-40 minutes soaks, like do those things. Like I would have to do quick 5-10 minutes, and that would be my thing, you know, and not have the luxury. It always felt like a luxury to having these children. You know, I think the youthful look, I do want to thank the Reynosa side of my family, because my dad's side, they're all fly. They're all, you know...
it's in your genes.
Yeah, it's in the genes. They're all fly.
You're like, I can't take all the credit.
No, it's family for sure. Because seriously, they look really good, for, you know, and they're in 80s, upper 80s, and they still look amazing. And that's my tias and my uncles, and that's my daddy's side for sure. Thank you, Daddy. You could ask anybody I've worked on. Right when I touch them, it is the spot. You know what I mean? I find the spot. I'm just, boom, there it is. You know, we're going to work this one out. We're going to do this. And we scan the body together, and depending on what the issue is, if it's a knee injury, if it is carpal tunnel. You know, I worked on a lot of people who are barbers and hair designers, nails,
repetitive movements,
neck down.
Yeah.
You know, construction workers, and not just athletes. You know, it's literally just the buildup in years and years and years of either trauma or just buildup, regular, you know, use. Yeah. Just use and overuse, stress. But what it ended up being is, after working on all those people all those years, I finally decided to open up my doors. And what it ended up being is, those things sometimes are things. And it could even possibly be the addiction to the pain. Gotcha. The manipulation that you can use because you're so stuck with it being there. Because you get help, people help you, and people, you know, they feel sorry for you. Things like that. It could be, you know, the spiritual, you know, diagnosis, as they say, like with those things, it's shame. Sometimes it's severe abuse. So it's not all physical. You're not just doing physical work. No. It's maybe not even mainly physical, the way I'm hearing you kind of speak on it. Right. That's powerful. Oh, yeah. So that, my dear, out of all the things that I do right now, is the most fulfilling. Because when I see somebody coming in with the cane and when they walk out and they don't need it, wow, that's... So you've seen, like, dramatic results? Oh, miracles before my face. Wow. Before my eyes. Okay. Immediate relief. I mean, the TMJ gone, the carpal tunnel out, you know, but it does require... They're very intense. The sessions are extremely intense because it's so painful. So I always tell my clients, you know, beforehand, there is a whole process that you have to, you know, do. And it literally is just flushing out the body and really getting your mind ready and prepared for the session. Because when you wake up that morning and you put on the shoes to come, it's part of the dance. When you get here, it's part of the release, and it's you doing it. I'm helping facilitate, and we're doing it together. I am, you know, gonna guide through. And I do it in sections, too, for people who cannot take that type of pain, you know. But the pain ends up being something else where it's an emotional, deep release. So I've had clients say that they've had flashbacks during. They hear sounds, smells. That specific thing was that thing in that time, right? I've had clients say thank you for helping me cry, you know, and being that cry bearer. People going back to time, so even that, maybe that's time travel of uprooting something that was festering and sitting there and planted by some other evil thing in spirit that was on somebody else's son or daughter. So are you nervous to take that trip? Not at all. That's the crazy part too. I am not at all. So what I have seen, I'm all the way prepared for it, and it's the person is still very much held and safe. And yeah, I don't feel not even 1 ounce of fear. I just, you know together with the person and the client, we gonna get this out. That's right. This don't belong here no more. It is not doing you any service of any good way. And it is keeping you and holding you back. Even the thought of, oh, I'm so safe with it. It's defined me. So you can actually become almost codependent on... Absolutely. Wow. But I want to know about the me being the hip-hop artist. I do want to hear about the hip-hop. I was in a horrible funk. Like, I feel like I always say I lost myself. It was like 14 years. I stopped rapping. I definitely was making suitcases and bags and stuff because that was my hustle too. That was how I paid my bills. was consistently, you know, selling at the poetry events or hip-hop events and reggae and all that stuff. Put a mic in front of me, I would have been like, nah.
So what happened?
I think for like women, when you like stop dressing good or like taking care of yourself, and you know, I was just in a huge depression, and trying to still be a light to my kids and like be there for my kids, but my life was so, you know, crazy with transitions and stuff. I just lost myself, and unfortunately, it took death. You know, is it always that? Like, I feel like it's the Gua Sha too, right? You have to go through it. It took death, and my dad's voice extremely loud, and it said, "Don't be afraid." And I said, I'm jumping, and I haven't stopped, and it's just been up and up and up and up and up, and I feel like I've been glowing different. So this year, right now, as we speak, we got one project done. I'm working on the Ice Cream Crew.
So that's your group, the Ice Cream.
The Ice Cream Crew is, a group of women we've been put together. Yeah.
How many women?
There's 5 of us all together.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 MCs and a DJ. I tell people, they ask because we went on tour, right? And it was going to be our first experience flowing together, and it was so good.
Wow.
So good. It was so damn good. It was unbelievably good that we were so shocked on how no one had attitude. Everybody did their job. They came ready. We bug out with each other, you know what I mean? Lyrically, their styles, their flow, just who they are as young women and women. I'm just blown away by these girls. And it's like, we never wanted to stop.
I've been going through some things with my family. I know your mom and dad have passed on. You know, how do you carry on? Some people get stuck when the pain is so heavy, but you seem to be carrying on.
It was the acceptance of what was, very fast.
Okay.
I understood that what happened to my father, it had to happen. It was already written, and that was the way he had to go. And the fastest I understood that, as horrifying and traumatic as it is, the fastest it cleared everything up and centered me right to the reality of the situation and what I have to address and attack and realize what I need to process and go through. And it just made things a lot clearer in a shorter amount of time. Same with my mom. I mean, my dad was sudden. My mother, we had a little bit of time. What's better, what's worse? People talk about that. They ask me those things. I want to say watching her drown was worse. That's what people don't talk about. Like these death doulas or these people, who are there when they're entering out of this life and into the next. What it does to the family, what it does for the spirit of the family, the home, the mental, state of the family, the emotional state of the family, the smells, the sounds, the beeping, they don't tell you have to administer the medicine. There ain't no, it's a lot of things to process. I think that's what makes it a little bit tough too, you know what I mean? Just miss her so bad, but she was so good at preparing. She prepared us. She was on point. She's always tapped in and all the way aligned with the voice and the language of God. So she, I'd be like, why are you so morbid? Or why are you telling me these things? It was all for preparation.
Looking back.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even then I knew it, though. I knew it. I knew, sit here, absorb it, take this in, remember, this is, I would bring her the baby every morning. So we had that experience, and it's gross. You know what I mean? It's the hardest. The flashbacks of those, that time comes back, and I don't think people talk about that. How do we get through flashbacks of trauma? You know, how do we ride those moments out? What's your way? Some people blow up the ideas, some people hit the ideas, some people will throw something at it, some people will swipe it. You know, get out of my head, you know. It's just being gentle with myself during the process, because understanding that we all are going to go. We all have to go. We don't know when we're going to go. And it's okay. It's okay to do the damn thing, not do the damn thing. It's okay for it to be on your time. Like I said, it took me this much. It took that much loss. Why? You know, why, when you could, you know, choose to really, like, live and do it while we're here. All of it. Whatever comes up, and it might change.
Yeah, and just go with it. So I'm asking everybody at the end of each talk is, what makes you come alive? What brings you joy?
Joy is interesting. I was just learning about it because I had said something like, today's theme is finding joy in every circumstance, right? Now, gratitude would be an easy one, right? Because I could say, like that movie, like, I like lamp. I like, I'm a 40-year-old. I like lamp. I like desk. I like couch, right? Like, I could find something in a horrifying situation and be like, I'm grateful at least the horrible situation happened and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But joy is delight. The hell am I going to find delight in all circumstances? Now, that's a whole nother level of Bruce Lee. Like, that's a whole nother, you know, chamber that I'm interested in flexing that muscle and learning how to do it, because what brings me joy, for sure, this grandbabies and legacy and understanding the power in that and eternity in that. Seeing my mom and, like, my parents in them, it's crazy. I mean, there's so many things that float my boat. There's, you know, music and detailed things. Architecture right now has me on one, but colors and it's almost every, you know, a lot of things. Music.
Yeah.
What brings me joy, though? Delight, pure delight. I want to say sugar, like any sugar stuff. I'm like, oh, I get too excited about that stuff. That's not good for me, but yeah, a good book, perfect weather, the sun and me have a thing. Seeing miracles before my eyes. I'm delighted. I have so much joy. I am so grateful that I've learned this and I could help people in some way, you know, coupled with, because the doctors ain't gonna do it.
Wow.
They're gonna do it. Massage therapists are only gonna go so far, you know, acupuncture too, like all that coupled together in the maintenance part, you know, self-care, those moments alone, sitting in the car under a tree, let the wind blow, listening to some music, 5 minutes.
Wow.
Even just that, you know, little pieces of self-care, getting those thoughts out when they come, self-care, shutting up, you know, it's all part of it. It's all intertwined in the delight and joy. Shutting up and shutting down sometimes.
So silence. And I've
Thank
had
you.
such a good time talking to you.
Thank you so much.
For kind of sharing your story.
Yeah.
And making yourself, your home available.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you're dope, and I want the whole world to know your story.
Thank you so much.
Zane, my homegirl, one of the dopest artists.
Thank you.
Respect. I had a really good time talking to Zane, but it was kind of tough when she started talking about her relationship with her parents. I actually teared up because it brought a lot of emotions up in me. I never knew my father. I can count on one hand how many times I saw my dad growing up. No birthdays, no graduations. He didn't come to my football games. Every once in a while, he would call out of the blue, say a bunch of nothing and be like, I love you. I felt like I had to say it back, but I didn't know him. But what I did know is that my mom was working 2 jobs, taking care of 3 kids, and that fool was nowhere to be found. And I just remember thinking, when I get older, I ain't gonna be nothing like him. I said, watch, I'm gonna take care of my kids. I remember that. Captain of the football team. He started the Black Power movement in that little town of DeRidder in Louisiana. Mama was homecoming queen, so they were high school sweethearts. Then he got drafted to Vietnam. He was 19, talking about, hell no, I won't go. They threatened him with prison. He said, oh, hell yeah, I will. So he went, but he made it home safely. Then he asked Mom to marry him. Always had a book in his hands, always reading something. Either that or he was playing his drums. He was a professional musician. She said they loved spending time together. He used to take us to Venice Beach. I was too young to remember. I've seen the pictures. But he had a dark side. He would drink, flip a switch, then take his frustrations out on Mom. And after years and years of that, she finally had enough and came up with a plan of escape. They shared a car. She used to drop him off at work. Then she would go to work, and she'd pick him up after work, and they would go home. So this day, she drops him off at work, but instead of going to work, she flipped a U, drove home, already had the movers there. She had arranged the time, loaded up the van, and she never looked back. So fast forward 20 years. I'm 29 with a wife and a baby. I had my own son. I got married at 20 years old. Don't get married at 20. Kids, please listen to me. I was way too young. I kind of had a dark night of the soul. I saw a lot of craziness in the music industry. I remember being in my hotel room. I had thousands in my pocket. And I was just boo-hooing. Because I always thought when I made it, I'd be happy. And I was depressed because I felt exactly the same. No peace, no joy, empty. And I'm like, damn, if this won't do it, nothing will. So I guess the universe felt me kind of wanting to get out of the industry, because I kid you not, soon after that, my label went out of business. They filed for bankruptcy. I couldn't put out new music, but I couldn't get out the deal. So I fell into a depression, kind of hid in my house, smoking blunts and reading the Bible. And then I joined my mother's church in Compton and kind of gave my life to God. So my ex-wife and I were lead singers in our band. I had a hip-hop band called 4th Avenue Jones. We got signed to Interscope, dropped by Interscope, put out a bunch of indie albums. We toured everywhere, the United States, overseas, had a good run. But when my son was born, we tried touring for a year with a baby, and it was as hard as it sounds. I remember he got sick. We were on the road in this little van. Had to take him to this little country doctor, little clinic. And I was like, you know what? We signed up for this. He didn't. And shortly after that, the band broke up. And I think our last tour stop was in Orlando, Florida. I drove the van and trailer all the way back to Long Beach, back to our little one-bedroom apartment. So I'm driving to clear my head. I'm stressed out. Like I said, I had a wife and a baby. I'm broke. Band broke up. No marketable skills. Never had a job in my life. Just hip-hop. Been making music, putting out records. And I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I was praying, God, give me a sign, give me a sign. I'm driving. I passed Long Beach City College, and I kid you not, on the bridge, there's a literal sign. It says, enroll now. I said, that's the sign, right? So I parked the van, big old 12-passenger van, ran across the street to the admissions office, which is right behind me. And there's a long line of teenagers, kids. I'm almost 30. I get in that line of kids. I say, look, I'm not going to be embarrassed. I saw the sign. Get to the front of the line finally. The woman asked me, can I help you, sir? I said, there's a sign out front. It says enroll now, and I'd like to enroll now. So she kind of laughed at me, and she helped me. Such a kind woman. She helped me. She told me what I needed to do. I matriculated into the college, and I became a full-time student that day. I enroll, and they start me in remedial classes. I'm like, what the remedial classes? I'm smart. In elementary, middle, high school, I was in the honors program. But when I got to high school, my grades tanked. I was getting D's and F's, a few C's. I did just enough to stay eligible to play football and to graduate, because I knew my mom would kill me. But most of the time, I was writing raps in class. I was not listening. I wasn't turning in work. I knew I wanted to be an MC. That's all I wanted to do was make hip-hop. So school wasn't my thing. And I had the ability, I just didn't apply myself. So when they saw my grades, I guess they were like, hey, you gotta start at the bottom. But I said, whatever, I know what I'm capable of. I started at the bottom. I got a little part-time job working at an after-school program, helping kids. And at the height of my rap career, I was making $8,000 a show. The job I got, they were paying me $8 an hour. From $8,000 a show to $8 an hour. From touring the world to City College. But I said, you know what? This is what it is, and I have to take care of my family. I'm doing it. So every night, there was a Starbucks in Long Beach. They used to stay open till midnight. I don't know if they still do. But 7 days a week, I would go to school full time, go to my part-time job, go to that Starbucks, and I studied until they closed every single day, every single night till midnight. And I was there so often, I was helping put up the chairs. See y'all tomorrow. Okay, Ahmad, see you tomorrow. And I went from remedial classes to start, got into the honors program at Long Beach City College, joined the Honor Society, straight A's. 2 years later, I was valedictorian. So I started in remedial, graduated as the valedictorian. And God is good, man. I went on a college tour with Long Beach City College, and we went to like all these different schools. And when we got to Stanford, something in me just said, you belong here. It just, the campus, the vibe. I remember sitting in one of the lectures. I kind of snuck in and I was listening, and I was like, man, I need to be here. And I told everybody when I got back to school, I'm applying to Stanford. And they were like, okay, you do that. They didn't say I couldn't do it, but I felt the energy. I felt the vibes. And I guess somebody told me it had been 25 years since a student from Long Beach City College went to Stanford. But I said, hey, you know what? They accept students. They accept transfers. I'm a transfer student. Why not me? That's always my mentality. Why not me? They let people in. They can let me in. So I applied, and I remember going to Starbucks. I studied every night there. I bought a hoodie, and it was a Stanford hoodie, and I wore that hoodie every day. And this woman came in, and she looked at me, and she was like, did you go to Stanford? Kind of like with an attitude, a black girl. And I was like, no, but I'm at City College, and that's my goal. She's like, 'cause you wear that every day like you went there. I guess she had been watching me or something and I did wear it every day, but it was for like inspiration. My heart kind of sank. I was like, man, maybe she's, maybe it is like a dream that I shouldn't even have. And then something came over me. I asked the person next to me, I was like, can you wash my stuff? I went into that bathroom and I started speaking life over myself. I looked in the mirror and I was like, where are you going? Stanford. Where are you going? Stanford. Are you going to get in? Yeah. Are you going to get like a football player? I was like pumping myself up. I came out of there like nothing happened, got like dignified, came back out, went back. But man, you can't let people plant little seeds. I felt like that was the devil, like trying to throw me off my game. And I wasn't having it. I rooted all those weeds out, spoke life, and declared what it was gonna be. I said, yeah, I'm going. And I don't care what she says. And the year I applied, they accepted 25 students out of 4,000 applicants. So that's less than 1%. I was one of the 25. I was one of the 25. I got into Stanford. Long Beach City College bought billboards on the sides of buses, my face. The valedictorian is going to Stanford. I was in the LA Times. It was a miracle, but I believe in miracles, right? And man, I just give thanks. I give thanks that I think it was Gretzky who said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I took a shot. So I move up to Palo Alto. It's in the Bay Area near San Francisco. But I have shared custody of my son because by this time his mom and I had divorced. All we had in common was the band. And when the band broke up, slowly we kind of broke up too. But I had shared custody, and you know my story. I wasn't gonna not see my son. Wasn't gonna make him feel like I felt. And I said, no matter what, I'm gonna see him every time it's my turn to have him. So I made sure I didn't have any classes on Friday at Stanford. And every Friday morning I would make the drive to LA, Long Beach, pick him up, and then I would, every Sunday night, drive back to Stanford. It was over 600 miles round trip every weekend, and I made the drive. But the crazy thing is, I had an apartment on campus, but I couldn't afford to pay rent in LA, plus, pay for everything I needed to pay for at Stanford. So I thought I could stay with my mom. She has a 4-bedroom house in the city. She and my stepfather, and I reached out. I'm like, I'm coming down to spend time with my son, your grandson. I'm at Stanford. Can I crash there? Can we crash there just from Friday, night to Sunday? Man, I was crestfallen. I was crushed. They said no. They said, no, you can't. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't. I'm a young black man trying to make it. I got your grandchild, and my mom said no. And I love my mom. My mom sacrificed everything for me. But I guess her husband didn't like the idea. She's Christian. She had to go with her husband. We slept in music studios. I had friends around the city. They let us crash on couches. I remember one time I'm bathing him, in the sink at a music studio. And he looked up and he goes like, "Is this where we live now, Daddy?" And I was like, "No, man, like, this is just a temporary obstacle." So my senior year, I go, you know what, it'd be easier if I just brought him to Stanford with me. It's kind of crazy to have a 5-year-old on campus because he had turned 5 by then. But I was like, he's old enough to go to kindergarten, and they had an elementary school on Stanford's campus. A lot of the graduate students, professors, and people would have their kids go there. So I said, you know what, that's better than him being in Long Beach. I'm gonna bring him to Stanford with me. So I brought him. No child care lined up, no nothing. I did apply, and they gave me a 2-bedroom apartment in graduate housing. So he had his own room, but I didn't know how I was gonna get child care. It's way too expensive in Palo Alto, one of the most expensive cities in California. And so I went to the only place I could go, which was the child care center on Stanford's campus. You were supposed to have applied months previously if you wanted a spot. I went, I had him with me. The lady was like, "We don't have any room. I'm so sorry." I said, "If you don't let him in, I have nowhere to take him, and he's gonna go to class with me because he's here, he's in the elementary school. I don't know what I'm gonna do." She was like, "I'm so sorry." Then she kind of looked at him, looked at me, and she was like, "You know what, we'll find him a spot." I'm telling you, man, miracles, miracles. They found him a spot. I would drop him off every morning at kindergarten. Then they would walk him across to the child care center, and they would keep him until I came at 6 p.m. to pick him up. Because I was a full-time student that senior year, and I had a campus job at the King Center. I would go pick him up, feed him, bathe him, read him a story, and put him to bed. Then I would study. I'm telling you, I could not have done it without him, because that was my heart outside of my chest looking at me. Like, "What are you gonna do, Dad?" And I couldn't stop, I couldn't quit. And he gave me life. He's my best friend, man. He's my guardian angel. He's my hero. And still to this day, he's my best friend. But he graduated from the kindergarten. He made it. I graduated from the university. I made it. We made it together. And I just give thanks. I just give thanks. So my dad had a stroke, and I didn't go visit him. I remember they showed me a picture of him in his Stanford t-shirt, and all I could think was, take it off. You know what I mean? How dare you? But I didn't go see him. Then he died, and I didn't cry. I did go to the funeral, but I got there late, and I walked out early. They all went to the graveside. I didn't go. I was mad, man, angry, full of resentment. And it's like that quote, resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. And that's what was happening. I was slowly like dying. It was impacting every area of my life. I didn't know it, but it was a heavy weight that I was carrying. And I decided, I said, you know what, it's time. I drove out to my dad's gravesite, and I pulled up a chair, and we had a conversation. I got it all out, I cried, and I told him that I forgave him. Then I asked him to forgive me. And I left it all right there. I took that weight off, and I left it. And I could tell that he's with me. Even now, he's with me. We talk all the time. He's one of my guardian angels, my non-material spiritual guides and teachers. I know I stand on the shoulders of 10,000. And I'm just going with the flow, letting the spirit guide me. Because when I heard Zane talking about her family, it's like something said, you have to tell your story. There's a quote by Thoreau, and he says, how does it go? He says, I know of no more encouraging fact than man's unquestionable ability to elevate his life by a conscious endeavor. It is something to be able to paint a particular picture or to carve a statue and so to make a few objects beautiful. But it is far more glorious to be able to carve and paint the very atmosphere and medium through which we look, which morally we can do, to affect the quality of the day. That is the highest of arts. And that's what this show is about, affecting the quality of the day. Your day, my day. I hope I made your day better. Definitely made my day better just doing it. And this is my art. I used to think I was a rapper, I was this, I was that. Man, I'm a human being. And that's why this show is Ahmad Talks to God, because every person I talk to, I'm talking to God, clothed in the attributes of a human being. And that's what I see all around me. And so, y'all keep watching. Peace and blessings. I love you. Thank you. And I'm out. And this is Long Beach City College, man. I'm here on a Sunday morning. And it brings back so many memories. That's the admissions office right behind me. That's where I stood in line and said, I'd like to enroll now. That's where it started. This is how it's going. All right, peace. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I shook up the world. I'm coming for you, Zane. I want you, Zane. I want you, Zane.